here this afternoon with June Hood. Most residents here at Abbotswood know June Hood as a fellow resident. However, June has been coming to Abbotswood to play the piano for more than 25 years. Tell us a little bit about your association with Abbotswood.
Yes, Connie, I'll be glad to do that. One Friday afternoon, my husband and I were just enjoying the afternoon and a beautiful day, and the phone rang, and it was somebody from Abbotswood, and her name was Jennifer, and she told me that she needed to have someone come and play the piano at Abbotswood because the person who comes for the entertainment called at the last minute and said, "I can't come, I'm sorry." So she said, "That's what I need, and it's for today." And I said, "Well, what time today?" And she said, 3 o'clock. And I thought, well, it's only 1:45, but I think we can do it. You just give me the directions. So she did. And at that time, she told me it was an assisted living place because we'd never heard of it. And my husband was glad to go, and so was Connie, our Pembroke Welsh Corgi. And so we all jumped in the car and came over to Abbotswood. And she showed me the piano and just told me to go to work. So I did. And I played a lot of music from the 20s and the 30s and the 40s, and we just had a great time, and people came around the piano and sang, and it was just a lovely experience.
You know, when June decided she needed to stop coming to Abbotswood, she just wasn't doing the amount of driving that she had been doing. Of course, her husband, George, had passed away. I told her we still wanted to hear her music. So I said, "June, if you're willing, I'll come pick you up and I'll take you to Abbotswood to play one time a month, 3 to 4. And of course, June agreed with that, and the residents were just so excited. So she continued to come. I did take a job as wellness director there, and of course I kept her on my calendar once a month, Friday 3 to 4. We enjoyed her music. Now, that's not the only association that June had with Abbotswood. At one point, George was looking for a new place for the North Carolina chapter of the 8th Force Historical Society to meet. And of course, June, you can tell us about that.
Oh, yes. Well, there was an 8th Air Force Historical Society that was based out in the Midwest. But some groups were wanting to have one from their very state, and that's what George wanted. So he came up with the North Carolina chapter of the 8th First Historical Society, and it was a wonderful thing. All the veterans from the 8th Air Force came and brought their wives, and they stood out in the main hall and visited with the residents here, and they had a story to tell, and that was very interesting. And then we sat down to a delicious meal from Jimmy Bateman. So that went on, and it came a time when the veterans were passing away, and there just wasn't the need for this time so recently that we had done. So at that point, we had like a going away party, I guess you could call it, and the residents of the I was going to say Department of Labor, excuse me. The people all came and they visited with the residents, and of course there were residents here that had been in the war. And I think in the time that I came, there were only maybe 3 men in the Abbotswood vicinity, because men just weren't coming to places like this ordinarily. So it was a very refreshing time for all. Now, I haven't mentioned anything about my little corgi, but anyway, she came with us everywhere we went, and she loved to eat, and she was very good. She sat right by my feet at the piano, and she was quiet as a mouse. But all of a sudden, the refreshments came out, and they had cakes, and they had nuts, and oh my goodness, she just ran over there, and she was so excited, and people would plan to just drop a nut on the floor, and she'd scramble around and eat it up. So I just wanted you to know what a pleasant time that was, because the residents liked to pat her as well.
Now, when was it that you decided that Abbotswood was going to be your home?
Well, it was one day when I was riding along on the road, and a truck came along on my left side, and it had a long mirror that jutted out to my right, and it came so close to me that it ripped the mirror right off my car, and it just went along all the way. Well, that was kind of the beginning. And then one time when I was here, the storm came up, and it was thundering and lightning, and the rain was coming down in buckets, and I had to pull way up to the door and get out to get in the room. And anyway, I got through it, the storm stopped, and I left for home. And when I got home, I just said, this is not right. I'm not going to do this anymore. So I called Connie and I said, I'm sorry, Connie, but I can't do it anymore. I can't drive anymore. And so I went home and I called my son and I said, Jeffrey, I'm moving to Abbotswood. And he said, what's Abbotswood? And I said, well, it's a place where old people go when they need help. And he said, well, we can take you around and show you other places. And I said, oh no, I'm not going to do that. I have friends there. I have Connie Miller, David Sexton, and Denise, and Jennifer, and there was one more, and that was Phyllis. Phyllis was a CNA, and she'd been here for a long, long time. So I just decided that's going to be my home from now on. And my children came from Massachusetts, and the ones from here, and they loaded up the trucks, and here I am. And this is where I'll always be. I'm very happy here. Thank you.
And we too are happy. You know, it's the best of the best to have someone you've known so long, someone who plays the piano so beautifully, to move into the community, and you're able to continue to enjoy your music. The residents love June Hood. They can't wait to come out and gather around the piano and listen to everything she plays. Not only that, but since we've been shut down, Ethel Ragland, who does our non-denominational church service, records her service for us. June plays the hymns that she chooses. So every Sunday we still tune in to Ethel and we get to hear June playing the piano. Of course, as you can see, June has her own piano in her apartment, which is delightful. She can sit and practice whatever music we're going to record for the residents. And of course, one day, real soon, I hope we'll all be out in the lobby, gathered around the piano, hearing her play. Thank you, June Hood, for all you do for us. We love you.